Hey everyone, welcome back. A few days ago I made a video on some of the features Apple has included in their Notes application. Really, I was interested to see if stock applications like Apple Notes or the Apple Reminders app are now capable of replacing third-party products that offer a similar functionality. However, this analysis will not be completed without also taking a look at other stock applications included in other operating systems or ecosystems. Thus, today we're taking a look at Samsung Notes to see some of the more relevant features it offers and determine whether or not it is an application that can replace other note-taking offerings in the market. So, let's explore the app and see what it has to offer. Now, when it comes to note-taking apps, I like to look for three things or categories to determine how useful the app actually is. These three things are structure or organization, meaning the ability for me to organize and search for my notes. Functionalities, these are obviously the features included with the application that might make my note-taking process easier or more efficient. And compatibility, or the different ways and devices I can interact with the application. So let's start with structure and organization and see what Samsung Notes has to offer. So when it comes to organization and structure, it is important for a note-taking application to allow you to store your notes so that it is easier for you to find them and kind of keep track of them. Since we can create an unlimited number of notes and it can get easy to misplace them, it's important to have some type of system that allows you to store your notes in an organized way. For this, I think the use of folders included within the Samsung Notes app is probably the most important functionality when it comes to organization, and it's very straightforward. We've all used folders before. As you can see here, I've already created a work and personal folder, and you can tag them with a different color. If I want to create a new folder, I can simply click here on the three dots at the top, click on Create Folder, give this folder a name, select a color for it, click Add, and the folder would be created. If I have a note outside of my folder and I want to move that to a specific folder, I can press and hold, then click on the Move button here at the bottom. I can create a new folder from here as well, or I can choose the folder that I want this note to be stored in, and I can simply move that note. Also, within a folder, I can create a subfolder if I want to, and that way I have even more of a hierarchy to store and organize my notes. Another way to organize your notes within the Samsung Notes application is through the use of tags. So basically, let's say that I have a note, here in my personal folder that I had a call with my doctor and there's certain notes that I took from that call. And I want to go ahead and categorize this as a meeting so that I can search for it and pull up any calls or conferences or meetings that I have had either in my personal life or work related. I can go ahead and click here on tags. As you can see, Samsung suggests some tags to use, but here I'm going to create a tag called meeting. I'm going to click on save, and now this particular node has been tagged with the hashtag meeting tag. If I go back, I'm gonna go ahead and also tag here under my work folder a note about my call with Jeff. I'm gonna click on tags. Here I see meeting already suggested. I'm gonna select that, click save, and now both my note in my personal folder and a note on my work folder have been tagged as a meeting note. Here in the menu on the left hand side, I now see a hashtag or a tags section. Here, as of now, I only have one tag, but if I were to have a couple or some other tags, I can simply select the one that I'm looking for, and it'll pull up any notes that are related to a meeting or that I have assigned under the meeting category. That way I can still keep my notes organized in their particular folder, as one is for my work, one is for my personal items, but yet they're both together under the meetings tag for me to review them quickly. Another functionality related to organization and structure is if I go here to the All Notes section on the left side menu. Right now I see kind of the grid view for my notes where I have a little square and I can kind of read what's in each of the notes as well as the title, but I feel like this cramps your notes quite a bit and I don't really particularly like this view. So here, if I click on the three dots, I click on view, I see I have different options. I think my favorite one, it's this one, the simple list, where I just see the title and it gives you a preview of the note. Obviously that's too small for me to read, but I kind of like this. I think it looks more clean, so I either like that or just the list version where it's kind of more horizontal. I think it's easier to read, and that view does apply also if I go inside any of my folders. That same view applies to those folders, and I think it's just easier to read. Very simple functionality, but again, it's just something that makes using this app a lot simpler. The last functionality when it comes to organization and structure would be the pinned notes or favorite notes. So if I go back here to my folders, I'm gonna go inside my work folder. I see I have 2 notes here, and let's say that my to-do list is a note that I do access quite frequently and I want to have access to it quickly without having to go inside the work folder. I can click here on the options and select add to favorites. This, as you can see, has now added a start to this particular note and as well a star or a new section in the menu. If I click on the favorites section here on the left hand side, I see now that I have a favorites section where all the notes that I mark or star as favorites will appear. And also, if I'm here inside my work folder, I can go here on the 3 dots and I can select pin favorites to top. This way, no matter how many notes I create, my favorites or any note that I have set as favorite will always show up at the top for me to access it quickly. So I know I ran through those quite quickly, but again, functionalities related to organizing and structuring your notes within Samsung Notes app are the creation of folders and subfolders, the use of tags to categorize notes no matter what folder they're in within the same category, and then the use of favorites and pinning favorites to the top for you to access certain notes quicker. Let's now review some other more general functionalities that just make this app a great note-taking tool. However, I will not cover anything related to the S Pen or the use of handwriting notes, as that is something that I don't particularly use myself. I find myself not writing in my tablet a lot. I prefer to take notes either by typing or just pen and paper. So yeah, if you want to see a video on handwriting notes or the functionalities with the S Pen, let me know and I can work on that. But for now, let's just focus on more general functionalities available within this app. So the first functionality that I want to review that I find very powerful is the voice recording within the Notes app. Let's say here that I'm going into a meeting or maybe I'm going into a class and I want to make sure I record everything that the speaker is saying. So I'm going to click here on the clip icon or the attachment icon and I'm going to start a voice recording. And as you can see here, I now get a little timer indicating that a recording has started. And I can go ahead and start taking notes, right? So let's say I'm taking these notes as the meeting or class progresses. And then once it's done, I'm gonna click stop and the recording has now been saved to this particular note. But not only that, when I play back the recording, I'm gonna pause it for a sec. You see how my notes are grayed out. I can actually, select a specific part of my note and the recording will actually jump to that specific time so that I know what was being said when I took down this specific note. So again, this was just a very short example, but imagine you were attending a 30-minute class or an hour class or a meeting and you wrote down a lot of notes and you want to go back to a specific time in the recording. You can simply select that note that you wrote in that particular time, or maybe there's something that you want more detail on. You select that note and it'll take you to the recording on that specific time so that you can listen back to it starting from that point. So very, very powerful and very, very neat functionality. So another functionality that I find very useful is the ability to export to different file types. So let's say I'm here in my work folder and I've just attended a marketing meeting and I took down some notes, but somebody's asking for them, and I don't want to send them in a Samsung Notes format. I can simply click here on the three dots at the top, click on Save as File, and I have here different file types that I can export these notes to. Obviously, for me, the most convenient one would be PDF. Let me select a folder here to store this in. I'm gonna click on Done. I can give this a name. I'm okay with that name as of now. And now my note has been saved as a PDF. So this actually brings us to another powerful functionality here in the Samsung Notes app, which is the ability to annotate PDFs. So as you can see here, I have a PDF icon next to the search icon. I can tap on that and I can import PDFs into the Samsung Notes app. Here, as you can see, I get the PDF, and if, let's say, there's a document or a contract I need to sign, usually you would need to either print that off or have a specific PDF editor so that you can sign it. But here I can do that directly from the Samsung Notes app, either using the pen or my finger to sign. I edited that note and I go back, and now it's saved, and I can export that PDF and send it over. So another functionality is the use of lock notes. So let's say this to-do list is very important to me and I don't want people to have access to it in case they get a hold of my tablet. I can click here on the three dots, I can click the lock icon, and now my note will display a little lock icon here on the bottom right. If I want to access that note, as you can see in the screen share, it doesn't even show it. It just shows a black screen, but on my screen it's asking me for a fingerprint. And now I'll be able to see the note. You couldn't really see that. It's cool that it even blocks it from being able to be screen shared if it's locked. I wasn't counting on that, but I mean, you get the idea of the functionality. Next, it's a functionality that it is coming to Samsung Notes app. I mean, it's here already in beta. I just haven't had a chance to test it yet, and that is the ability to collaborate, basically like a Google Docs with other people. So I can actually invite collaborators to a specific notebook or note within Samsung Notes app, and we'll be able to add and edit that note specifically. And I think they're integrating it with other like Google products like Google Meets, etc., to where you can use Samsung Notes as the main platform to collaborate in. Very cool, very useful if you and your team already use Samsung Notes app. If not, and you're already using things like Google Docs, then you might as well stay on that site for these collaboration activities. But again, something cool that they've added and included. The last functionality that I want to review is the widgets available for Samsung Notes. This one is really just a call out to let you know that there are some widgets available for this app that you can add to your home screen, and it allows you to just access the Notes app a lot more quickly if you need to jot something down in the middle of the day and you don't want to open up the Notes app or search for it, etc. You can add this widget to your home screen and have access to that fairly quickly, and you can even start a voice recording straight from this widget, which I find very neat if you need to record something quickly. So we reviewed the capabilities around organization and structuring your notes that are included within the Samsung Notes application. We also took a look at some of the more relevant functionalities that may improve your note-taking process if you start using this app. The last section or point that I want to touch on is the compatibility. And this will be fairly quickly, as if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, it'll behave as any other ecosystem out there. If you have the tablet, the phone, and the PC, all your notes will be synced together. As you can see here, I'm on my PC and I see all the notes that we were just working with earlier today on my tablet. Unfortunately, before you used to get or be able to get the Samsung Notes app on any PC, but I believe there was an update a couple of months ago, and Samsung is now gatekeeping their Notes application to only the Galaxy Books. There's still some workarounds that you can apply to get the application if you are in any other non-Samsung PC, but that's not very useful, not very convenient. So yeah, it is a bummer, but that's just the ecosystem market. That's just the way it is at the moment. Other than that, compatibility is great. Again, if you are in the Samsung ecosystem, you can access your notes from any of your devices and they will sync across within seconds, and I have not found any issues with that as of yet. So that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I know we covered a lot of functionalities fairly quickly, so please do let me know if there's anything I can improve, or if there's another functionality that you think it's worth discussing. Please leave it in the comments below, as I would love to hear about it. That's it for today. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.